Let me go. Yep, bye-bye. Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to American Legion Baseball here on SportingNewsCT.com. We're here at TAFT High School Field in Watertown, Connecticut. Beautiful field. The game has just got underway. We had a couple of technical difficulties to get the stream up. But right now, Monroe leads it off with John Orchowski. He had a triple in the center field. Now there's up to the plate is Cam Laser, the right fielder, fouls it in foul ground, and the catch is made by the third baseman, Max Ryan, for Oakville. So we'll try to get the lineups and the defense set up for you. Right now, stepping up to the plate for Monroe is Luke Schaefer, the shortstop for Monroe. And behind him will be the cleanup hitter, Mike Slattery, plays third base. Pat Lazzaro, the left fielder, bats fifth. Pat Ryan, the first baseman, sixth. Joe Kipp, the second baseman, seventh. Zach Boyle, the catcher, eighth. And Eddie Tristine be the pitcher today for Monroe, who comes in with a record of 16-4. They're second in the zone. And the first pitch to Schaefer is in there for strike one. Out on the mound today for Oakville's Connor Sullivan. Behind the dish, catching the balls and strikes, is Brian D'Agostino. Grant Wallace is down at first base. At second is Cam DeFeo. Justin Guerrera, the ever-sure All-State player, at shortstop. At third base, Max Ryan is going to be playing there today. Matt Brophy out in left field. Adam Raza, the Holy Cross product, out in center field. In right field, Ryan Dunphy, the Pomperog product, out there in right field, as we said. Beautiful day here. Sun is up. There are a few clouds here and there, but not many, as Connor Sullivan works from the stretch, and the ball's up high. So no scoreboard here at the field, but it's 2 balls and 1 strike now. To the right-handed hitting Luke Schaefer. Monroe in their red and navy blue shirts with red lettering, white pants with a red stripe down. And Oakville in their camo sleeves and black shirts. And there's a slow ground ball to short. The run will score. Guerrero gets it, snaps it over to the first baseman, Wallace, for the second out of the game. But on the play, Monroe leads it off with their first run of the game here in the top of the first inning. So Schaefer gets an RBI on that, score that one 6-3, the RBI. Mike Slattery comes up now. He's the cleanup hitter. Batting in the 4th spot from the right side of right-hander's batter's box, rather. And there's a strike, first pitch strike from Connor Sullivan. This zone, Oakville has already won Zone 5. They wrapped up yesterday. They defeated Ansonia by the score of 7-0. Monroe was down by Oxford by a score of 6-3 yesterday. Winning pitcher in the Oxford game was Mike Tassinelli, the ex-Seymour High product. Connor Sullivan now throws it in there for a strike to Slattery. Oakville, even if Oakville had lost yesterday, or if Monroe had won, Oakville still has the tiebreaker. There's a long ground ball, 2-hopper over to third baseman. Long throw to first by Ryan over to Wallace, and that'll do it here in the top of the first inning. So for Monroe, they come up with 1 run on a total of 1 hit. There was no errors, and there was nobody left on base. We'll be right back. At the bottom of the first inning, Oakville coming to bat. They trail 1-0.
While I was overseas, the American Legion was behind me all the way, supporting me and my family back home when they needed help. Now I'm a proud member.
When I left the military, I wanted my fellow veterans to have the care and the benefits they deserve. That's why I belong to the American Legion.
I never thought the Legion would have anything for me, but they taught me about teamwork and sportsmanship, and they helped me get into college.
The American Legion. We're at work every day, serving America in so many ways. That's why I belong.
The American Legion. We're a powerful force for the nation. We're the largest veterans service organization in the nation. We're committed to making sure all veterans receive the benefits they deserve for the sacrifices they've made in service to America. If you're a veteran in need of help or support, please contact us. Go to legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment of service to America. The American Legion. We're a powerful...
Well, back here at Taft High School Field here in Watertown, Connecticut for this Zone 5 American Legion matchup between Oakville Post 195 and Monroe Post. Oakville, as we said, coming in with a record of 20-1. They defeated Ansonia by the score of 7-0 yesterday here at Taft High School field. What a beautiful field this is. You look out to the right in the center field and right field, all Tudor-type buildings, brick buildings. Nice setup here with dugouts, both sides of the field, all brick, with a walkway, and we're perched behind home plate with a good view of the entire field. There is a fence here at Taft High School, but it's one of those kind that give way, but it is surrounding the field from foul pole to foul pole. No markers out there to let us know how deep the fences are, but they're not exactly shallow. Well, on the mound for Monroe today is Eddie Tristine, and behind the dish is Zach Boyle. Leading it off for Oakville is Adam Raza, the Holy Cross product, the center fielder. Ryan Dunphy, the right fielder, bats second. Justin Guerrero, shortstop, bats third. Grant Wallace, the first baseman, will be in the cleanup spot today. Griffin Smith will be the designated hitter and bat fifth. Max Ryan over there, you met him on that ground ball to third. He's batting sixth. Cam DeFeo, the Watertown High product, plays second base and bats seventh. Brian D'Agostino is the catcher and bats eighth. And batting ninth is Matt Brophy, the left fielder, in the first pitch of the game. From Eddie Tristine is ball one to Adam Raza. Eddie Tristine with a record this year of 0-0. This is his first time pitching this year, according to Monroe coach Bob Pagel. Well, down there at first base is Pat Ryan. He's even with the bag now. At second base is Joe Kipp. Luke Schaefer is at second base. There is a strike call. Mike Slattery over at third. Pat Lazaro in left. John Orchowski, you met him. He got the big triple in the first inning, scored the first run of the game. And Cam Laser out there in right field. And you can see way out in right field, there's some beautiful sprinklers of water, which makes one think of jumping in them. It looks like a changeup of sorts, but it's ball four. And Adam Raza walks to lead off the bottom of the first inning for Oakville, post 195. And stepping up from the left side now is Ryan Dunphy, the Pomperog product, also a very good pitcher is Ryan Dunphy. And now straddling off first base, Adam Raza. He's a threat to go, and he usually does. The first pitch to Dunphy is in the dirt, and the runner goes. Delayed steal. Do they get him? And they're going to say no as the ball bounced away. So a stolen base by Adam Raza to start it here in the bottom of the first. Puts a runner in scoring position for Oakville. These two teams have played twice already. Oakville beat Monroe 2-0 at Oakville way back on June 26th, if it's that far ago. June 14th, Oakville beat them by the score of 6-1. Both teams only have 2 games remaining, I believe, after this. Monroe is off tomorrow. They have Shelton on Monday, and they have Danbury on Wednesday. And there's a pitch in there for a strike to Dunphy. First baseman over there, Pat Ryan, moving up on the edge of the grass. Third baseman now backs up a step. And here's the pitch to the left-hander, is fouled off to the left side, off into the trees. What a beautiful spot to watch a game, too. See somebody up on top right of a hill on the right side of us. We're in a golf cart watching the game. And here's the pitch, and Dunphy hits a line drive, one hopper to the shortstop. They're saying it's no catch, but they had the runner. They would have had him tied up, but they didn't go after him. He just throws to first to Schaefer, and they get the first out. But on the play, Raza scoots down to third base. So Ryan Dunphy puts it in play and still results in Raza getting to third. And brings up Justin Guerrero, the ever-dangerous Justin Guerrero. Has a lot of power, especially to right center or center field. He's a gap-to-gap hitter, and there certainly looks like there's some gaps out there for him to shoot for. First pitch is up high for ball one. On deck is Grant Wallace, the Pomperog product. And most of these kids are from Oakville. There's a swing and a miss. Big cut that time as Guerrero was swinging for the fences there with that wooden bat. All wooden bats in Connecticut. You can't even have a composite bat. They're not allowed. Even BB Corps certified composite bat. There's a pop-up and right down the first baseline, and getting it is the first baseman, and then running down the line at third was Raza. So Eddie Tristine gets Justin Guerrero to pop out to the first baseman. Now there's 2 outs. And that's going to bring up Wallace, the tall right-handed first baseman. Bats with a slightly closed stance, about a foot from home plate. And Here's the first pitch to him. That's a hard line drive, but it's a one-hopper, and it made a great play by the third baseman. Long throw to first, and he makes it. What a nice play by Mike Slattery there from Monroe, as he took that one, was scorched right at him. But he makes the backhanded catch on the one hop and makes the long throw over to first. Well, that'll do it here in the bottom of the first inning for Oakville. They come up empty. They got no runs, no hits, no errors, but they left one runner on base. We'll be right back. The top of the second inning. After this, Oakville trailing 1-0.
Not only have I learned a lot of speaking skills,
meeting these 50 other incredibly talented people,
but most of all, I think you learn a lot about yourself.
You're able to grow in so many ways.
Learning about public speaking.
You also gain a tremendous amount of friendships.
It's a nice bonus.
That's definitely a plus, I'm not going to lie.
Is definitely something that is on my mind.
It's such a great document.
It guarantees me so many liberties and freedoms.
It's looking out for me.
The significance that I place on voting.
The 8th Amendment, which deals with cruel and unusual punishment.
My comparison of the Constitution to a lens.
Well, back here at Taft Prep School, I should say. It's field in Watertown, Connecticut. The score is Monroe 1 and Oakville 0. And leading it off here in the top of the second inning for Monroe is Pat Lazaro, the left fielder. Pat, basically an even stance, wiggles that bat around behind his batting helmet. And here's the first pitch. There's a hard ground ball, two-hopper to third baseman. Max Ryan, he throws it over to first. So some pretty play out here by the third baseman. The first inning ended with a ground ball to third. Now it begins here in the third inning with a ground ball to third, and that's going to bring up Pat Ryan, the first baseman. So we said Connor Sullivan, the right-hander, on the mound. They have gray hats, I believe. It looks like kind of a reddish O on the top of their bill of their hat. And there's a first pitch fastball is in there for a strike. Sullivan from the windup, and he works from the first base side of the rubber, and his second pitch is up high for a ball. Looked like he tried to break off a curve, but it didn't work. Way out in right field, see some people in lawn chairs watching this game behind the right field fence and closer to where there's sprinkler system pond out there. You can see the gushing up of water coming out of the middle of that pond, or two spots. People behind some walkways out there in right field and all around behind home plate here. And here's the pitch from Sullivan. There's a base hit up the middle, a solid single by Pat Ryan. Second hit of the game for Monroe, and they get a runner on board with one out here in the top of the second. They lead it by the score of 1-0. And stepping up to the plate is Joe Kipp, the second baseman. As Ryan straddles off first, not a very big lead, about 2.5 steps. Sullivan slide steps, throws a fastball inside for ball one. Well, this Oakville team finally has got another zone championship under the belt. They won it in 2014, 2013. They were the runner-up. They had won it from 2008 to 2012. They had won this zone. And there's a ball down low. They were knocking on the door of the state championship almost every year. They were the Connecticut State runner-up in 2010. It's now a 2-0 count now to Kipp. And he fakes a bunt. There's a ball, so it's up high, so it's 3-0. As now time is called. As Kipp walks down to talk to his third base coach. Coaches have to wear protective batting helmets. They don't have to have the ear flap, but they must wear helmets on the bases. That's a rule that was instituted about 3 years ago for safety reasons. Monroe is in the first base dugout. They have the sun in their face, so to speak, as it shines bright above us. And there's ball 4, so 4 balls in a row And now Monroe has another runner in scoring position. But walking a single. And with one out, that brings up the catcher, Zach Boyle. No relation to Don Boyle, our mentor and wizard here at Sporting News CT. Well, other games around Zone 5 today, and Sonia's got a doubleheader today at Waterbury Municipal Stadium. Bethel's at Shelton at 11 o'clock. Oxford is at Danbury today at 1:30 game. There's a ball down low. That's 5 in a row now for Sullivan. Naugatuck's at Bethel today. And that one is a 5:40 p.m. start. Bethel does have lights. It'll be a twilight game anyway. Sullivan from the stretch now slides and throws a strike right in there. Defensive alignment is first baseman Grant Wallace, about a step or so. Now he moves up. He was a step or so behind the runner at first. Now he moves up to the edge of the grass. With the 1-1 count now coming up. Another slide step, and there's another strike right at the knees on the low outside part of the plate. Sullivan looks in for the sign from his battery mate, D'Agostino. And a slide step fastball is lifted into shallow left field. Well, staying there and making the easy catch is a left fielder, Matt Brophy. So with 2 outs, that's going to bring up the number 9 hitter, the pitcher for Monroe, Eddie Tristine. Monroe only came here today with 10 players to make the road trip up here to Watertown. A little bit of a tricky park to find sometimes. You can see the buildings, but then you have to figure out how to get into the parking lot here. People park all over the place surrounding this field. And there's another slide step fastball that's fouled into the netting in front of us. So it's 0-1 now to Tristine. 2 outs, top of the first inning. Monroe with a 1-0 lead over Oakville. Oakville has already wrapped up Zone 5. Monroe currently sitting in second place with a record of 16-4. Sullivan's pitch, curveball, swing and a miss. Looked like it might have been a tip there, as that ball rolls away from the catcher. And get it back to Sullivan. 2 strikes now on Eddie Tristine. Well, future broadcasts coming up here on Sporting News CT. We got about 5 of them in the next 3 days. Tomorrow we'll have a game down at Quinnipiac's field. And there's strike 3, swing and a miss by Tristine, and that'll do it here in the top of the second inning. So for Monroe, they come up empty, but they had 1 run on no hits. There were no errors, and they left 2 runners on base. We'll be right back with the bottom of the second inning. Monroe 1 and Oakville 0.
While I was overseas, the American Legion was behind me all the way, supporting me and my family back home when they needed help. Now I'm a proud member.
When I left the military, I wanted my fellow veterans to have the care and the benefits they deserve. That's why I belong to the American Legion.
I never thought the Legion would have anything for me, but they taught me about teamwork and sportsmanship, and they helped me get into college.
The American Legion. We're at work every day, serving America in so many ways. That's why I belong.
I never realized how much the American Legion did in our community until I was overseas and my family needed help. The Legion was there, taking care of things I couldn't, and they asked nothing in return. I guess it's because they know what I'm going through. They've been here before, and when I looked into it, I discovered that there was a way for me to continue to serve my fellow veterans and my community through the American Legion. That's why I joined.
Well, right back here at beautiful Taft High School's field, with Monroe with a slim 1-0 lead over the Zone 5 champion Oakville post 195. As stepping up to the batter's box now is Griffin Smith. He's the designated hitter for Oakville. Griffin with stirrups. He wears his black stirrups up high around his knees. His Oakville wears their gray pants with a black pinstripe. As I said before, they have a black shirt with a camouflage type sleeves. And their first pitch from Tristine bounces in the dirt for ball 1. As we said before, our future broadcast tomorrow we'll have a game between Hamden and North Haven at Quinnipiac University. And here's the second pitch, is up high for a ball, so it's 2-0 now to Griffin Smith. Tristine working from the first base side of the rubber. As he said, his record is 0-0, and I'm given to understand this is his first time pitching this year. He just throws that one in there up high, so it's 3-0. As we said, Oakville is off Monday. They have Naugatuck on Tuesday at 7:45 and Wednesday versus Shelton. And there's ball 4 now, so 4 balls in a row to Griffin Smith. Second walk of the game, and second time in this game. So second walk from Tristine. Second time that Oakville has had the leadoff runner on base. Max Ryan steps in now, the third baseman. So he wiggles that bat back and forth, and the first pitch to Ryan is ball 1. So Tristine having a little bit of control problems here in the second inning. Then we have games Tuesday and Wednesday. There's going to be 2 games from 2 different sites as there's strike 1 to Ryan. On Tuesday we got Avon versus Bristol at Avon's Buckingham Park, and Don Boyle will have to call the game between Middletown and Cheshire at Palmer Stadium in Middletown, Connecticut. The runner goes, and there's a bloop single to right field. And the runner will hold at second base, so that's a base hit, first single of the game for Oakville. Now Oakville threatens with runners on first and second and nobody out. Brings up Cam DeFeo, the Watertown High second baseman. That tandem of Guerrero at short and DeFeo at second for Watertown High this year was an incredible duo. They played stellar defense, and I'll tell you what, Guerrero's bat, they were a force as Watertown made their way through the state tournament. And they made the NVL tournament, I think, on the last day. He shows bunt, and he does bunt up the first baseline, and they're going to have to go to first base, and the second baseman covers. So Cam DeFeo gets the job done on the sac bunt. Score that one 1-3, or 1-4 rather. And now Oakville has runners at second and third with 1 out and brings up Brian D'Agostino, the catcher. So Monroe now elects to put the third baseman and first baseman up on the grass, and their short and second are playing back, try to get the out. The first pitch, it's a high fly to left field, but that one's down the left field line. Could be extras. 1 run will score. Here rounding third and coming in with an easy stand-up run is Max Ryan, and getting into second base with a stand-up double down the left field line is Brian D'Agostino, and Oakville now has taken the lead 2-1. So the second inning for Oakville. And now Oakville with a runner on second and only 1 out as Matt Brophy, the left fielder, steps in. First pitch to Brophy is inside. So Oakville now has matched the number of hits that Monroe has and takes the lead by the score of 2-1. And here's the pitch to Brophy. It's a ground ball between third and short, and that's going to be an infield single as he just put it in the right place. Third baseman got it, or shortstop got it rather. And the runners are now at first and second. The top of the order coming up, as that's going to bring out one of the Monroe coaches now to talk to their pitcher, Eddie Tristine, and their infielders. And that ground ball, it was just in that spot between third and short. The shortstop backhanded it, but it was way deep in the hole. Third baseman couldn't get it. Luckily, the runner from second, the runner on first initially second didn't make his way to third, as the third baseman crossed in front of the shortstop. But in any event, Brophy has got his hit. That's the third hit of the game for Oakville. And now that the entire infield was out on the mound, as the home plate umpire comes out now to break it up, and we'll be back into play now. Adam Raza leads off. He was stranded at third in the first inning. He walked and stole second. He comes up, the Holy Cross product, who Holy Cross had won the Class S state championship this year. And the first pitch is a strike. Pretty generous zone there, as that ball was right on the up and out part of the zone. Tristine looks in, shakes his head positive. Now he kicks and throws. That one's up high for a ball. And the count evens at 1-1 to Razzo. It's got basically an even stance, maybe slightly closed. There's the pitch. It's looped out into center field. The center fielder stops, waits, comes up a step or two, and makes the catch. No advancement by D'Agostino from second base. So with 2 outs, that's going to bring up Ryan Dunphy. Ryan had grounded out to short his first time up. As you can hear out the yelling out of the 3 numbers as Oakville uses the number system to call their offensive signs. The first pitch is in there for a strike on the inside part of the plate, right a little bit above the hands of Dunphy. That sun is straight up above here on a beautiful day here in Watertown, Connecticut. And there's a pitch. That one's on the outside part of the plate. So it's 0-2 now to Dunphy. And Dunphy stands up in the box a little bit, slightly closed stance. Tristine checks the runner at second, deals. There's a foul ball left side, off into the trees behind the third base dugout. As we said, Tuesday, we're going to have a game of Avon versus Bristol and Middletown, Cheshire on Wednesday. As there's a fly ball to left center. That one's going to drop in for a base hit. Rounding third and coming home is going to be Brian D'Agostino. So with that base hit by Dunphy, and Oakville now stretches their lead to 3-1 with their 4th hit of the inning. And that's going to push Dunphy's at first base, and it's Brophy who scampers down to third. Tristine now checks, see if the runner goes. He doesn't. First pitch is a strike into Guerrero. Tristine, as we said, not a pitcher he hasn't pitched at all this summer so far for Monroe. And the runner goes, and the pitch is up high. There's a throw all the way to second. They don't get the runner. The runner on third base, Brophy had held. So Dunphy gets a stolen base. So runners are out at second and third with 2 outs, and first base open. Now the first baseman, Pat Ryan, backs way up. Second baseman now backs way over, and there's the pitch is a ball. So it's 2 balls now to Justin Guerrero, first base open. On deck is Grant Wallace. And that one's in the dirt, blocked well by Zach Boyle. So the count is 3-1 now to Guerrero. See the outfield playing him in center field. They're playing him to right center slightly. Outfield not too deep. It's a wooden bat, so let's see if that's ball 4. So Guerrero walks. 3rd walk of the game, 2nd of the inning for Tristine. Brings up Grant Wallace, the 9th batter to come to the plate in this inning for Oakville post 195. And Tristine still going from the stretch, foot against foot. Now he kicks and deals, and it's in there for a strike on the outside part of the plate. As Tristine, not a very hard thrower, he's trying to spot his pitches. Checks the runner at first now. Now he comes set again. Checks the runner at second and deals. And just outside, so it's 1-1 to Wallace. And center fielders, again, playing off to right center against a big right-hander Wallace, who fouls one off to the right side. So 2 strikes now on Grant Wallace. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bases are loaded here. Bottom of the 2nd inning, 3-1 in favor of Oakville. They scored all 3 runs this inning. There's the pitch. There's a line drive, base hit to center. 1 run will score. Rounding third and coming home is Ryan Dunphy. So a 2 RBI single by Grant Wallace. And now the score is 5-1 with runners on first and second. So that's Guerrero, who's on second. Wallace, 2 RBI single. 5th hit of the inning for Oakville. More importantly, they got 5 runs. And here's the pitch. It's outside for ball 1 to Griffin Smith, who started it all off with a walk and scored a run. It was 1-0 to him, so Tristine really struggling this inning. And there's a bloop out to the shortstop. It's a one-hopper. Taken by the shortstop. Schaefer throws it all the way to Ryan. And the side is finally retired. Scored that one 6-3. But for Oakville, they come up with 5 big runs on a total of 5 hits. There were no errors, and they left 2 runners on base. We finished 2 full innings here from Taft High School in Watertown, Connecticut. The score is Oxford 5, Monroe 1. We'll be right back with more American Legion baseball action here on Sporting News CT after these messages.
While I was overseas, the American Legion was behind me all the way, supporting me and my family back home when they needed help. Now I'm a proud member.
When I left the military, I wanted my fellow veterans to have the care and the benefits they deserve. That's why I belong to the American Legion.
I never thought the Legion would have anything for me, but they taught me about teamwork and sportsmanship, and they helped me get into college.
The American Legion. We're at work every day, serving America in so many ways. That's why I belong.
Powerful force for the nation. We're the largest veterans service organization in the nation. We're committed to making sure all veterans receive the benefits they deserve for the sacrifices they've made in service to America. If you're a veteran in need of help or support, please contact us. Go to legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment of service to America.
Well, Oakville put up a big crooked number on the scoreboard here in the bottom of the second innings. They scored 5 runs on 5 hits, and big 2 RBI single by Grant Wallace, and another that all started with a walk to Griffin Smith, a single by Max Ryan, a sacrifice bunt, a double by D'Agostino. Brophy then got an infield single, and Ryan Dunphy they got a base hit, and Grant Wallace got a 2 RBI double till it finally ended with a ground ball to short. We're moving on to the top of the third now. Monroe will try to get back in it. They send the top of the order here at Taft Field. What a beautiful ballpark this is. I can't say it enough. There's trees out in left field, spotted out in right center, and out in right field. There's the first pitch, curveball strike to Orzechowski, who tripled his first time up. And with those big brick buildings, 4-story buildings out there, 2-door shape. Beautiful ballpark. There's a swing and a miss on a pitch down low. There's 2 strikes now down to Orzechowski. Coaches for Monroe, Bob Pagel, assisted by Bruce Laser. The general manager of Monroe is Bob Cloutier. Oakville, Scott Willett is the general manager and head coach. He's assisted by Ben Germain. Tim Belcher. There's a swing and a miss, strike 3. Second strikeout of the day for Connor Sullivan. There's 1 out here in the top of the third. You said Oakville also coached by Ben Germain, Tim Belcher, Dave Delato, Justin Froese is also an assistant, and Steve Smith is a volunteer. So up steps the left-handed hitting Cam Laser. He wiggles that wooden bat high above his batting helmet. Sullivan still from the stretch. There's a curveball, ground ball to second base. Cam DeFeo gets it, and he snaps it over to Grant Wallace for the second out of the inning. Routine play that time by DeFeo, and there's 2 up, 2 down here in the top of the third. Brings up Luke Schaefer, who got the RBI ground ball, his first time up in the first inning. 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, 2 left on for Monroe so far. For Oakville, 5 runs, 5 hits, 3 left on so far. So with 2 outs, Schaefer steps in. As he said, he grounded to short his first time up. Connor Sullivan working from the stretch with nobody on base, and works from the first base side of the rubber. He throws a first pitch fastball, good hard fastball right at the knees to the 3-batter Luke Schaefer. So we said next Wednesday we'll also have a broadcast between Meriden at Guilford. I'll be doing that call, and New Britain at Berlin will be the call of Don Boyle. Both the New Britain-Berlin game on Wednesday, the Middletown-Cheshire game on Tuesday will both be video broadcasts. Mine will be an audio broadcast from both Avon and Guilford. And there's a ball down low. Count is 2-1 now to Luke Schaefer. The only blemish on this Oakville's 20-1 record, as Oxford beat them 6-0 and back in the second game of the season. And there's strike 2 now to Schaefer. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. That's what it would read on the scoreboard if it was running. American flag waving high above the big 2-door building down the right field line here at Taft. A few puffy clouds in the sky, but not many. A lot of blue sky today. Great day for baseball. Great day to watch a game of baseball. Sullivan comes set. He's about foot against foot and throws it inside. That one's ripped foul on the left field line. Looked like time he missed his spot that he wanted to hit as the catcher, D'Agostino, was lining up outside, and the pitch went inside. But to no avail as the ball was fouled down the left field line. As we said, Oakville will have a day off tomorrow, as will Monroe. These American Legion teams play a lot of games in a lot of days. There's a pop-up foul in foul ground on the first baseline. And Grant Wallace makes the easy catch. Scored that one a P3 if you do that kind of thing in a scorebook. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base here in the top of the third for Monroe. And we'll be right back with more American Legion baseball action here on SportingNewsCT.com.
While I was overseas, the American Legion was behind me all the way, supporting me and my family back home when they needed help. Now I'm a proud member.
When I left the military, I wanted my fellow veterans to have the care and the benefits they deserve. That's why I belong to the American Legion.
I never thought the Legion would have anything for me, but they taught me about teamwork and sportsmanship, and they helped me get into college.
The American Legion. We're at work every day, serving America in so many ways. That's why.
This is Adam, take 2. Mark?
I guess.
I go like this.
The best part about playing football in Texas has to be the reaction from the community.
I want to encourage others to play volleyball or choir because you get to experience new things and do stuff that you've never done before. My reason why is passion.
My reason why is pride.
Well, welcome back to Taft High School Field in Watertown, Connecticut, in this Zone 5 American Legion baseball game between Oakville, post 195, and Monroe. The first pitch to leadoff batter here, Max Ryan, in the third, is a high fly ball to center field, and Johnny Orzakowski pulls it in for the easy out. Oakville leads this game by a score of 5-0. They've sent 10 batters to the plate in the second inning to score 5 runs. Monroe got their lone run in the first inning. And there's a pitch way inside for ball 1. Eddie Tristine still on the mound for Monroe. In light of the number of games each of these teams have, pitching is at a premium. And there's a pitch inside. There's a high fly down the left field line. Could be trouble. If it's fair, it is. And rounding first, heading for second base is Cam DeFeo, and he's going to have a stand-up double as that ball goes by the left field foul pole. And now it's ruled a ground rule double. So DeFeo ripped that ball down the left field line. I guess the combination between rip and rope, right? And he now has a stand-up double. 6th hit of the game for Oakville's hitters. Off Eddie Tristine. And now Brian D'Agostino got a double down the left field line his first time up. Steps into the batter's box. Tristine takes a deep breath. Now he comes set, foot against foot. Kicks high, throws it in there, and it's low for a ball. Tristine trying to hold this lead to 4 as he looks into his battery mate, nods at the call of the pitch, now deals, and there's a strike. Low and outside part of the plate. If it caught the black of the plate, I suppose. Tristine looks in. Runner at second base, as we said, is Cam DeFeo. Way inside, nearly hits the batter. He didn't even move. As the ball went inside. to Brian D'Agostino, the big catcher for this Oakville team. They can really smack the ball around. There's a pitch up high. It's 3-1 now to D'Agostino. And here's the pitch. He lobs it, basically. He just tried to throw maybe a change of some sort. And he walks D'Agostino. Fourth walk of the game for Eddie Tristine. Tristine out there battling. As he said, this is his first time pitching during the year. They've already played 20 games. It's going to bring up Matt Brophy with an infield single. His first time the ball bounces. Good block that time by the catcher, Zach Boyle, to stop that one from allowing runners to advance. Bottom of the third inning, Monroe trailing 5-1. And Oakville threatening again with runners on first and second. One out. The runners are going. Here's the pitch inside. The throw to third is not in time. So the double steal works as DeFeo steals third base. And Brian D'Agostino stole second base. Well, on a broadcast right here on Sporting News CT yesterday, we saw Greenwich, the Cannons, the 22-1 Zone 4 leaders, down Trumbull by the score of 3-0. There's a foul ball right side. And now the count is 2-1 to Brophy. In that game, Anthony Ferraro for Greenwich pitched a stellar game, striking out 8, walking only 3 in his 7-inning shutout at Trumbull. And there's a ball in the dirt, bounced, blocked well again by Boyle to save a run. The infielders are all up on the edge of the grass now, trying to cut down the runner down at the plate with 1 out. Tristine checks the runners at second and third, still working from the stretch now, and he deals. It's inside for ball 4. Second walk in a row for Tristine. Now that's his 5th walk of the game. He had 1 walk in the first inning, 2 in the second inning, and 2 now here in the third inning. So let's see what the defensive alignment is for Monroe as they start to, middle infielders start to move back a little bit. The first pitch is way up and in for a ball. As it's 1-0 now to Adam Raza. Raza flied to center and walked so far today. First baseman's up on the edge. There's ball 2. So Monroe's defense has Slattery up on the edge of the grass at third. Pat Ryan over there on the edge of the grass at first, as now time is called as the catcher, Zach Boyle, walks out to talk to Eddie Tristine. Try to settle him down and get him to throw strikes. Joe Kipp at second and Luke Schaefer at short are in basically double play depth. The outfield playing basically straight away. That's Pat Lazaro on left, John Orzakowski again in center, Cam Laser in right. A few more fans out there enjoying the game in right field. And there's ball 3 to Adam Raza. Tristine at risk now of walking in a run. Working quickly from the stretch, he kicks, throws a first pitch. That's in the dirt. No way to even give him a generous 3-0 count. As Raza walks, and that's an RBI, as Cam DeFeo scores. And so the score now is 6-1 in favor of Oakville. And that looks like it's going to be all for Eddie Tristine. We're going to have a pitching change here, and we'll let you know who it is right after these important messages.
I belong.
While I was overseas, the American Legion was behind me all the way, supporting me and my family back home when they needed help. Now I'm a proud member.
When I left the military, I wanted my fellow veterans to have the care and the benefits they deserve. That's why I belong to the American Legion.
I never thought the Legion would have anything for me, but they taught me about teamwork and sportsmanship, and they helped me get into college.
The American Legion. We're at work every day, serving America in so many ways. That's why.
The American Legion. We're a powerful force for the nation. We're the largest veterans service organization in the nation. We're committed to making sure all veterans receive the benefits they deserve for the sacrifices they've made in service to America. If you're a veteran in need of help or support, please contact us. Go to legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment of service to America.
I never realized how much the American Legion did in our community until I was overseas and my family needed help. The Legion was there, taking care of things I couldn't, and they asked nothing in return. I guess it's because they know what I'm going through. They've been here before. And when I looked into it, I discovered that there was a way for me to continue to serve my fellow veterans and my community through the American Legion. That's why I joined.
Well, back here at TAFT Field, the new pitcher is Pat Lazzaro. He's the left fielder for Monroe. He's basically flip-flopped. Eddie Tristine goes out to left field. His book is not closed yet in this inning, with one out here in the third, and the bases still loaded. As the first pitch from Lazzaro's in the third, and it goes to the backstop. That's going to be a wild pitch. He's going to score a run. So D'Agostino will score. Brophy gets down to third, and Raza goes down to second with that wild pitch. The score now is 7-0. I mean, 1 rather. With Ryan Dunphy at the plate. Ryan got a single to left center his last time up, stole a base, grounded out to short. So now the infielders will have to come up. First pitch is way inside. It's 2-0 now to Dunphy. As that run is charged to Eddie Tristine. And there's a strike. Basically just threw it in there to get a strike. Here's the windup and the pitch. He throws another one in there. Swing and a miss by Dunphy. That time the slowness of the ball probably got to him a little bit as that ball just lobbed in there. 2 balls, 2 strikes now. And there's a foul ball. You see that the Monroe coach Bob Pago, when he took Eddie Tristine out, still give him a pat on the back because Tristine did not pitch a game this year, and he just needed him to try to get some innings for him. And there's another foul ball back to the screen. Dunphy having a little bit of trouble trying to wait on this ball being thrown by Pat Lazzaro. Looks like another guy who's just out there to get innings and just try to get them to their next game on Tuesday. And there's a pitch up high, so it's 3-2 now. Count is full to Dunphy. Runners are on third and second. That's Matt Brophy at third, Adam Raza at second. Here's the pitch. And it's popped up and foul ground on the left side. Mike Slattery chasing in foul ground and makes a one-handed catch and ends up on the warning track after he makes the catch. So scored that one a P5 in foul ground. Brings up big Justin Guerrera, power-hitting shortstop for this Oakville team. Justin Guerrera's already committed himself. He's a junior in high school at Watertown High. He's on his way to Fairfield University after he graduates next year. First pitch to him is high for ball 1. And there's the pitch. It's a strike call, generous strike zone there to Guerrera, who's walked and popped to first. And here's the pitch to Justin. It's low. So it's 2-1 now to Justin Guerrera. And here's the 2-1. He pops that ball up foul out of play. And it's going to be 2-2 now as it bounces off the roof of the dugout of Oakville. These Oakville batters trying to get adjusted to the slowness of the pitches. They're having trouble with it as they're fouling balls off so far, trying to crush them. Here's the pitch. That one's fouled back. As Guerrero just still has not made that adjustment yet to the speed of Pat Lazzaro on the mound. And he's just out there to give his team innings and battle, and that's what Monroe's been doing so far, but they trail it by the score of 7-1. And there's a pop-up and foul ground. The first baseman, Ryan, goes back and gets it, and the inning ends with a pop-up. But for Oakville here in the bottom of the third inning, they come up with 2 runs on only 1 hit. There were no errors, and they left 2 runners on base. That's their 4th and 5th runners left on base here this afternoon, or actually it's almost noon, here in Taft High School in Watertown, Connecticut. The score after 3 full innings is Oakville posts 195-7 and Monroe 1.
I never realized how much the American Legion did in our community until I was overseas and my family needed help. The Legion was there, taking care of things I couldn't, and they asked nothing in return. I guess it's because they know what I'm going through. They've been here before, and when I looked into it, I discovered that there was a way for me to continue to serve my fellow veterans and my community through the American Legion. That's why I joined.
Well, back here at Taft High School. Moving on to the top of the fourth, when Monroe trailing Oakville by the score of 7-1 now. And that's going to bring up for Monroe now Mike Slattery, the cleanup hitter, grounded to third his last time up. First pitch curveball from Connor Sullivan. There's a strike. And Sullivan deals another, it looks like a slider he tried to snap off there. It's a ball down low, so it's 1-1. And here's the 1-1. Hard fastball ripped off the top of the glove of Ryan at third. He can't get it, but that's going to be a base hit. Slattery scorched that one. Third hit of the game for Monroe, and now Monroe has their leadoff batter on base here in the top of the fourth. Other games today around the state, there's plenty of them. In Zone 1, Southington's at Winstead, Avon's at Unionville, Wolcott's at Bristol, and Simsbury's over there in Terryville for a doubleheader. First pitch from Sullivan is in there for strike called. First pitch fastball right to the 5 batter, Pat Lazaro. The left fielder has now come on to pitch. Sullivan still from the stretch, gets the glove about waist high and slide steps and deals a curveball for a ball. 1-1 now to Pat Lazaro. So far in the game, Sullivan has only given up 3 hits. And he struck out 2, walked none. And he slide steps, throws a hard fastball. It's popped up in the infield, and third baseman Max Ryan comes across and makes the catch for the first out. So at 1 out, that's going to bring up Pat Ryan, the first baseman, up. Pat singled his first time up. Sullivan from the stretch now. Works from the first base side of the rubber. Brings his glove right around waist high now. Slide steps and deals low for a ball to Ryan. And the runner on first, Mike Slattery. He's not going anywhere. Down 6 runs. He has about a 2-step lead. Maybe 2.5. Sullivan slide steps again, throws a curve, and it's in there for a strike. Sullivan doesn't work from the windup with nobody on base. He's just stretched all the way. See, once in a while, pitchers prefer that. It seems that they think they have better mechanics that way somehow. Sometimes it works, whatever works for you. There's a swing and a miss. Good hard fastball by Sullivan. Ryan cut right through it. Sullivan looks into D'Agostino for the sign. And here's the pitch. The runner goes. It's popped up down the right field line. It may be trouble, and it's going to be bounced in fair. But now the runner at first, he slides into second and gets there. So a bloop single that time by Pat Ryan. Slattery was going on the pitch. Then he had to put on the brakes and then turn on his engine again to get down to second base in time to beat the throw. 4th hit for Monroe. And with runners at first and second and 1 out, Joe Kipp will step up to the plate now. He walked his first time up. He takes the first pitch strike. Grant Wallace behind the runner at first. And Guerrero and DeFeo, the Watertown tandem. The double play depth with DeFeo bird dogging the runner at second a little bit. Why, I don't know, with the big lead, but he is. And there's a swing and a miss. I guess even with that lead, since Slattery had taken off and tried to, it was a run and hit on that play. That's why they're keeping him close at second, I suppose. Sullivan Slides and pitches. There's a bloop out to right field. Coming on to get it's the right fielder with a pretty play by Ryan Dunphy. As he comes on to get it. And now there's 2 outs to score that one in L9. Zach Boyle comes up to the plate. Zach had fly to left, his first time up. And Sullivan deals. Fastball, that one's blooped out to right field, but coming on to get it's the right fielder, Dunphy. And he makes the catch. That'll do it here in the top of the 4th inning for Monroe. They got no runs. There were 2 hits, no errors. They left 2 runners on base. That's their 3rd and 4th runners left on base here this afternoon. We'll be back at the bottom of the 4th. Oakville leads it by the score of 7-1.
Not only have I learned a lot of speaking skills,
Meeting these 50 other incredibly talented people,
But most of all, I think you learn a lot about yourself.
you're able to grow in so many ways.
Learning about public speaking.
you also gain a tremendous amount of friendships.
It's a nice bonus.
That's definitely a plus, I'm not going to lie.
Is definitely something that is on my mind.
It's such a great document.
It guarantees me so many liberties and freedoms.
It's looking out for me.
The significance that I place on voting.
The 8th Amendment, which deals with cruel and unusual punishment.
My comparison of the Constitution to a lens.
Not only have I learned a lot of speaking skills,
Meeting these 50 other incredibly talented people,
But most of all, I think you learn a lot about yourself.
you're able to grow in so many ways.
Learning about public speaking.
you also gain a tremendous amount of friendships.
It's a nice bonus.
That's definitely a plus, I'm not going to lie.
Is definitely something that is on my mind.
It's such a great document.
It guarantees me so many liberties and freedoms.
It's looking out for me.
The significance that I place on voting.
The 8th Amendment, which deals with cruel and unusual punishment.
My comparison of the Constitution to a lens.
Well, back here at Taft Field in the bottom of the 4th inning, Grant Wallace, big tall right-handed hitter for Oakville, is at the plate now. And he takes a ball and it gets by the catcher and rolls to the backstop. A brick backstop here at Taft High School. Very impressive looking. Very attractive, matches all the buildings that surround this field. There's a line drive base hit to left field. Solid single to left for Grant Wallace to lead it off here in the bottom of the 4th inning of this already 7-1 ball game in favor of Oakville. Oakville's 7th hit of the game. First off Lazaro, and it brings up Griffin Smith, who's walked and grounded to short. And there's a strike. First pitch to Smith. As we said before, a lot of games being played around the state, and that pitch is outside for a ball. And also, we have in Zone 2, North Haven's at Stratford today. Stratford had tied for the lead of Zone 2 with Orange. New London in a big contest at Waterford tonight. There's a high fly to center field. Surrounding it now is the center fielder, Ochowski, and he makes the catch out there in left center. And Enfield is at Tolland in Zone 8. Tolland winning that zone. South Windsor currently in 2nd place. A lot of the usual suspects, so to speak, in the different zones. Avon winning Zone 1. Bristol, not far behind. As there's the first pitch strike to Max Ryan, who singled, scored a run, and flied to center. One out and a runner on first is Grant Wallace. And here's the pitch, and there's a line drive right at the second baseman off his glove. Looked like he wasn't ready for it. Do they get the force in second? Do they? Yes, they do. So it's one of those plays where Grant Wallace had to hold his ground because he thought it would be so he wasn't doubled off first. When the ball went off Joe Kipp's glove, he went to his left, scooped it up, and fired it over to Schaefer to get the fielder's choice 4-6. Puts Ryan at first, erases Wallace, so now there's 2 outs. Brings up Cam DeFeo, who's 1 for 1. He had a sac bunt in the second inning. And then he doubled and scored a run, stole a base in the third. And here's the first pitch to Cam on the outside part of the plate for strike. And the 0-1 fly to center field, and surrounding it's Orchowski, and he makes the running catch, backing up a few steps. Well, that'll do it here for Oakville in the bottom of the fourth as they come up empty. They have no runs. There was a hit, no errors. They left 1 runner on base. There's 6 runner left on base. We've completed 4 here from Taft High School in Watertown, Connecticut. The score remains Oakville 7, Monroe 1.
All right, this is Adam. Take 2. Mark?
I guess.
I go like this.
The best part about playing football in Texas has to be the reaction from the community.
I want to encourage others to play volleyball or choir because you get to experience new things and do stuff that you've never done before. My reason why is passion.
My reason why is pride.
Back here at Taft High School. We're moving on to the top of the 5th inning, and for Monroe, they'll send up the 9-1-2 hitters. Eddie Tristine, the starting pitcher today for Monroe, leads it off here. Connor Sullivan still on the mound for Oakville. First pitch fastball is up high. So it's 1-0 to Tristine. 1 run on 4 hits, no errors, 4 left on base for Monroe so far today. For Oakville, they have 7 runs on 7 hits, and they've left 6 on base. There's a ball down low. So far today, the hitting stars have been a number of them, as their hitting is all spread out among this Oakville team. There also was 5 walks interspersed in there. And there's a strike. Let's see how many of those walks scored. 1 of them, 2 of them, 2 out of 5 of them scored. And here's the pitch, a swing and a miss. Good big hard cut by Tristine. That one was up at the letters and he couldn't catch up with it. Sullivan looks in for the sign. He comes set, working from the stretch. He throws that curveball, swing and a miss. He gets him. Good tight spin on that curveball as he struck out Eddie Tristine. 3rd strikeout of the game for Connor Sullivan. And that's going to bring up the top of the order, and John Orchowski, or Zakowski rather, who started off the game with a triple, and Monroe's jumped ahead in the top of the first 1-0, and an RBI ground ball by Luke Schaefer, but since then Monroe hasn't been able to do very much. So Zakowski now steps in here with 1 out in the 5th, and the first pitch to him is a curve in the dirt, bounces its way to the brick backstop. Here, both dugouts made of brick. It surrounds the home plate area in a arc. There's netting in front of it, and we're perched here, slightly up above. walkway right behind home plate. And there's the ball down low to Orzakowski. As Sullivan deals curve in the dirt. That one bounced at about 58.5 feet. So he really tried to spin one off there. And as the crowd quiets down now to score, and there's a strike. Nice group of people sitting around behind home plate here. Some of them on the hillside, big grassy knoll up there, as you call it, up to my right. A few fans up there. Here's the pitch. It's a high fly to left center. That may be extras. It goes over the left fielder's head, rolls all the way to the fence, and rounding second and stopping at second is Orzakowski with a stand-up double, and the 5th hit of the day for Monroe, and now they threaten with a runner on second with 1 out. But Orzakowski's had himself a day so far. Although he did strike out once, he had a booming triple to center field, and that's a booming double to left field, way over the left fielder's head. Brings up the left-handed hitting Cam Laser, who popped to third and grounded to second. And here's the pitch. It's a ground ball base hit to left field. So that gets through that hole between short and third. And they were sending the runner, but then he held up. The coach was going to send him, but he just held up at third base. So there's another base hit. 6th hit of the day now for Monroe. As Coach Willett now giving his instructions out to his team on the 1st and 3rd call. Runners at the corners now with 1 out. Brings up Luke Schaefer. Luke is grounded to short, popped out to foul to in the right side to the first baseman. Sullivan looks in. And now comes set. The runner doesn't go. There's a fastball right in there for strike 1. Good hard fastball by Sullivan. He just pumped it in there. And now Coach Pagel at third giving his signs. Coach Laser down there at first base. And here's the pitch. The runner fakes a go. There's a fly ball to center field, shallow right center, and the runner's going to go. Then he fakes it. It's a good hard throw all the way to home plate on 1 bounce. Did Adam Raza. That one's just too shallow to try to send him with this kind of lead. The trailing by so many runs. It's a good throw, though, by Raza. Prevents the runner from scoring. So the runners remain at the corners now with 2 outs. And brings up the cleanup hitter, Mike Slattery. 7-1. Monroe trailing Oakville here. The number 1 and number 2 teams in Zone 5 going at it here this afternoon in Watertown. Here's the pitch. It's a foul ball off the netting, right side. Slattery took a big cut at that pitch. And straddling off first base now is Laser. And he's got a wide base over there. He isn't going anywhere. Good block that time on that pitch by D'Agostino. Saved the run. And Sullivan tried to spin one off. He's getting a little bit. His curveballs now or his sliders are starting to run short of the plate. And with the big lead, he can still pump those fastballs. As they're saying that one just missed. That didn't miss by much. As Sullivan now takes a deep breath and gets set, looks into his battery mate D'Agostino. And here's the pitch. Fastball up and in. It's now 3 balls and 1 strike now to the cleanup hitter, Mike Slattery. On deck is the big guy, Pat Lazzaro. I'm sorry, up the plate now is the big guy, Slattery. And there's a pop-up in the infield. Cam DeFeo, now the first baseman, Wallace, calls for it, and he makes the play. So, here in the top of the 5th inning, Monroe threatened as they had but they come up empty, no runs on 2 hits, no errors. They left 2 more runners on base. They're 5th and 6th runners on base here this afternoon. They're stretching here at Taft High School Field here in Watertown, Connecticut. The score remains Oakville 7 and Monroe 1. We'll be right back with more American Legion baseball action here on SportingNewsCT.com.
I belong.
While I was overseas, the American Legion was behind me all the way, supporting me and my family back home when they needed help. Now I'm a proud member.
When I left the military, I wanted my fellow veterans to have the care and the benefits they deserve. That's why I belong to the American Legion.
I never thought the Legion would have anything for me, but they taught me about teamwork and sportsmanship, and they helped me get into college.
The American Legion. We're at work every day, serving America in so many ways. That's why I belong.
While I was overseas, the American Legion was behind me all the way, supporting me and my family back home when they needed help. Now I'm a proud member.
When I left the military, I wanted my fellow veterans to have the care and the benefits they deserve. That's why I belong to the American Legion.
I never thought the Legion would have anything for me, but they taught me about teamwork and sportsmanship, and they helped me get into college.
The American Legion. We're at work every day, serving America in so many ways. That's why I belong.
Well, back here at TAFT Field, I apologize for running sometimes the commercials 2 times in a row. It's hard for me to see the counter on my computer here. There's no press box here at Taft High School. So I got the sun right above me, glaring into the screen of the laptop which controls the commercials. So it's hard sometimes to see the counter that counts down the commercials. So. But in any event, there's some very important messages that these commercials have to say. So we're now in the bottom of the 5th, so Oakville with a 7-1 lead, and there's the first pitch strike to Brian D'Agostino, the catcher, from Pat Lazaro, who came in relief of Eddie Tristine. Monroe starter, he just throws one in there now for a ball, so it's 1-1 now to D'Agostino. D'Agostino got a double his first time up, scored a run, and walked his second time up and also scored a run, so he scored 2 runs on the day. And now after throwing a strike, Lazaro then throws a couple balls now, so it's in danger of walking D'Agostino. That one just missed. It was now 3-1 to D'Agostino here in the bottom of the 5th. And there's the pitch, and that's going to be a base hit to right center. Scooped up by Laser out there in right field, so D'Agostino has a hit. And it's the 8th hit of the game for Oakville hitters. And a leadoff single here in the 5th brings up Matt Brophy. And this is Max, so maybe some kind of a pinch hitter without letting us know it is. It's number 1 on their roster. So Max stands in there. And here's the pitch to him, and it's outside for a ball.
You say, Max, line drive.
As Lazaro comes set, checks the runner at first, and throws one in there. Is fouled off to the right side up the grassy knoll. See if some fan walks over to help out, and he does. Gets out of his lawn chair to make his way over. And give us a hand here to get the ball back into play. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to the number 9 hitter for Oakville here in the bottom of the 5th. And here's the pitch. It's blooped out into right field. That's going to maybe drop in for base hit. The right fielder decoys, the great decoy that time by the right fielder, making out like he was going to catch it. The ball was clearly going to drop in front of him. He tried, but he couldn't make the decoy. So D'Agostino now scoots down to second. Brophy gets his first hit. I'm sorry if that is Brophy. There's a single now to right field. 9th hit of the game for Oakville hitters. Now they have runners at first and second and nobody out. As up steps Adam Raza. Raza's walked twice and flied to center. He's been stranded on the base paths twice, once at third base, once at second base. And here's the pitch from Lazaro, and Raza just chases the ball. He just doesn't want to walk. He fouls it off to the right side. And here's the pitch. The runners go, and they throw it to third. Catcher from his knees. So D'Agostino steals third base. catching Monroe a little bit of sleep, and now they have runners at the corners. And Raza now, see if the runner goes. He doesn't. There's a pitch up high for a ball. So Raza trying to get his first hit of the afternoon, and there's a ball up high, so it's ball 4. So the stolen base doesn't mean anything. There's another walk, 6th walk of the day. Now the bases are loaded with nobody out here in the 5th. And that's going to bring up, it's not Ryan Dunphy, that's for sure. So we have a pinch hitter for him, and he bloops it out into the infield. It'll be an infield fly, so it won't matter. So there's 1 out now. And Justin Guerrero is going to step into the plate now. He's 0 for 2 on the day. Walk one's popped to the first baseman twice. So he's trying to adjust to the slow speed of the pitching. He's having trouble with it. There's the first pitch is up high for ball 1. Well, there's nowhere to put Guerrero now as the bases are loaded. Lazaro still working from the stretch. He throws one in there. That one's low. It hits the ground. So it's 2-0. Here's the 2-0 pitch, and it's 3-0. That one you really didn't need a catcher's mitt for. That one's thrown up high. And he could have caught that one barehanded, but he just tried to tempt Guerrero. Throwing it in there. There it is. A line drive down the left field line. That just could clear the bases. 1 run will score. Here comes Brophy scores. D'Agostino, he's going to score, and then Guerrero's busted out of that little small slump, if you want to call it one. And it's got a double down the left field line, and that's going to be a 3 RBI double as it scores Raza all the way from first, D'Agostino, and Brophy, and now it's 10-0. I mean, to 1 rather. And brings up Grant Wallace here with 1 out, Guerrero on second base. So they have 10 runs now and a total of, looks like 11 hits now. Or 10 hits, rather. Is Lazaro just trying to give his team innings? It looks like that's the way maybe they've approached this game coming in. They ran into a number of games in a row. They still got 2 more to go. There's a ground ball to short. They're going to go to third, and they're going to get Guerrero with a base running mistake. As he's out now, they 6-5, and Grant Wallace gets the first base on that one. Base running error that time by Guerrero, just too aggressive. That ball was hit in front of him. He tried to get to third, but he couldn't get there. So there's 2 outs now, with the runner on first being Wallace, and Griffin Smith steps up. And there's a ground ball back to the middle, and that's going to scoot through. It goes off the pitcher's glove all the way to center field. So that's going to be the 11th hit of the game, and now Oakville threatens to increase their lead. They have runners on first and second with 2 outs. And Max Ryan now chops one down to the third baseman. Should be an easy play, and it is as he steps on third base. Scored that one 5 unassisted. Well, Oakville sent 9 batters to the plate here in the 5th inning. They came up with 3 runs on a total of 3 hits. There were no errors, and they left 2 runners on base. Well, we've now finished 5 complete innings here from Taft High School Field in in Watertown, Connecticut. The score now is Oakville 10 and Monroe 1. We'll be right back at the top of the 6th after these messages.
Not only have I learned a lot of speaking skills,
meeting these 50 other incredibly talented people,
but most of all, I think you learn a lot about yourself.
You're able to grow in so many ways.
Learning about public speaking.
You also gain a tremendous amount of friendships.
It's a nice bonus.
That's definitely a plus, I'm not going to lie.
Is definitely something that is on my mind.
It's such a great document.
It guarantees me so many liberties and freedoms.
It's looking out for me.
the significance that I place on voting.
The Eighth Amendment, which deals with cruel and unusual punishment.
My comparison of the Constitution to a lens.
Well, Justin Guerrero has given his team a commanding 10-1 lead. That's Oakville. They're the winners already of Zone 5 here in the state of Connecticut. And Guerrero cleaned the bases with a double. And in the 5th inning, now it scores 10-1. We move to the top of the 6th. And up for Monroe now is Pat Lazaro, the pitcher, grounded to third, popped to third. It's Connor Sullivan still on the mound for Oakville. He's given up 6 hits, struck out 3, walked no one. That's been his strength here so far. Stepping in now, back into the batter's box is Pat Lazaro. Connor Sullivan now has been working from the stretch the entire game. And now he deals. There's the ball down low. It's 3-0 now. You notice Sullivan didn't want to do that one. Once his team put up a 3 spot in the 5th, he's working to get a 0. So it's 3-0 now to Pat Lazaro's. He said grounded out, popped out. That one's in the dirt. So 4 straight balls by Sullivan. That's only his first walk of the game. Brings up Pat Ryan, who's singled twice so far. 1 run on 6 hits, no errors for Monroe. They've left 6 on base so far. For Oakville, they got 10 runs on 11 hits, and they've left 8 runners on base so far. And the first pitch is in there for a strike. So Sullivan gets back on the strikes track, so to speak. This game really has turned into an Oakville hitting show as that pitch is up high. And it's the bottom of their order that's done very well for this Oakville team. Down the last 2 batters for Oakville have gotten 4 hits. They've been on base all 6 times they've been up. And that's going to be a time is called as Coach Willett wants to go out and talk to Sullivan. And it may be that maybe the pitch count is there. Maybe he's running up the pitch count or not as he's talking to him. He's got a commanding 10-1 lead. He really just doesn't want anybody to go out there and walk people. As it looks like there's somebody warming up now, and that's going to be all for Connor Sullivan. We'll be right back with the name of the new pitcher after these important messages. Stay tuned.
Way to go, Sully. All right, this is Adam. Take 2. Mark?
I guess.
I go like this.
The best part about playing football in Texas has to be the reaction from the community.
I want to encourage others to play volleyball or choir because you get to experience new things and do stuff that you've never done before. My reason why is passion.
My reason why is pride.
All right, this is Adam. Take 2. Mark?
I guess.
I go like this.
The best part about playing football in Texas has to be the reaction from the community.
I want to encourage others to play volleyball or choir because you get to experience new things and do stuff that you've never done before. My reason why is passion.
My reason why is pride.
Coming on the pitch now in the 6th inning here, in relief of Connor Sullivan, it'll be Alex Reimold. And the right-hander finishes up his warm-ups now. He'll face the 6, 7, and 8 batters for Monroe. And after that first walk of the game, given up by Sullivan and getting into a little trouble, it must be the pitch count. Coach Willett elects take out Sullivan. He's had a pretty good day for himself as he's given up only 1 run back in the 1st inning. And he's given up a total of 6 hits, 3 strikeouts on the day, and only 1 walk. So he's done his job. Alex Reimold now comes in, but the runner on first base is still charged to Sullivan. The first pitch from Reimold is strike 1 to Pat Ryan. Pat has 2 for 2 on the day. He's one of the 2 bright spots for this Monroe team today, the other being center fielder John Orzechowski. And here's the pitch. Curveball. That one's grounded, a base hit into left field. Good hit that time by Ryan as he just pulled that curveball. Just didn't have enough spin on it. And that's the 7th hit of the day for Monroe hitters. First, obviously, off of Reimold. So with runners on first and second, up comes Joe Kipp. Joe has walked and lined out to right. There's the first pitch curveball to Joe is the ball. Good hard spin on that pitch, but it was low and out. Here's the 1-0. Fastball is just misses inside and low. I'm sure I can see Coach Willett scratching his face a little bit. Is 2 balls in a row. He wants strikes. And there's 3 balls.
Come on, don't squeeze now. Come on.
3 balls and no strikes now to the batter. Way inside is ball 4. As the bases are now loaded. And for Monroe, brings up Zach Boyle, the catcher. Zach fly to left, fly to right. As bases are loaded now. There's a ball down low. It's 1-0 now to Zach Boyle, the catcher. And now walking slowly out to talk to him is the catcher, D'Agostino. The one thing you don't want to do is have walks here, even though they have a 9-run lead. And Monroe potentially only has 6 outs left. Well, Pat Lazzaro's on third base. Pat Ryan is on second base. Joe Kipp at first base. And here's the 1-0. It's in there for a strike. 1-1 to Boyle. So whatever D'Agostino said must have worked. And here's the 1-1. It's coming from the stretch. There's a pop-up and foul ground, and the first baseman, Wallace, comes over and makes the catch. So after Kipp walked the batter, and then now he gets the pop-up, and up comes Eddie Tristine, the starting pitcher. He struck out twice on the day. Reimold working from the stretch. He kicks high and deals. There's a grounder, a slowly hit towards Cam DeFeo at second. He'll get one at short, back to first, and not in time. The run does score now. So scored that one a fielder's choice, 4-6. And that erases Ryan, but puts Kipp down to third. But more importantly for Oakville is they get an out. And now there's 2 outs. Runners at the corners. The score is 10-2. And the top of the order comes out with John Orzechowski, who's 2 for 3 on the day. He's got a booming triple, a booming double. And now behind him, Grant Wallace playing a little bit behind the runner at first base. As now Reimold checks him and now kicks high and deals. There's a line drive towards center field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. So Orzechowski 3 for 4 on the day, and that's an RBI. And now Monroe makes it a 10-3 game. They get their 8th hit of the game. Second off Reimold. Now that brings up Cam Laser, who's 1 for 3. So Tristine is down at second base, as that was fouled off to the left side. And Orzechowski down at first base. So Monroe battling away here. And they were trailing by 9. Now they trail by 7. And the first pitch is a curve. That one gets away from the catcher. The runner will get to third. Scored that one a wild pitch. And now Basic can make this a 10-5 game. As Orzechowski goes down to second. Tristine goes down to third. Now runners are at second and third with 2 outs. And this time Laser said he took the wrong bat. He wants a different one. As he now steps in. And here's the pitch. There's a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Cam Laser. 1 for 3 on the day. Got a base at the left field his last time up. Here's the 1-2, and now it's grounded to second base. DeFeo charges it, gets it, boxes it, throws to first, makes the play, like smothered that ball at second base. Well, Monroe sent 7 batters to the plate here in the top of the 6th. They come up with 2 runs on a total of 2 hits. There were no errors, but they left 2 runners on base. Their 7th and 8th runners left on base here this afternoon. Well, the score now is Oakville 10 and Monroe 3. We'll be right back at the bottom of the 6th after these messages.
SportingNewsCT.com is now streaming your team's big game. SportingNewsCT.com is Connecticut's broadcast home for high school sports, college sports, and American Legion baseball. Whether it's football, soccer, basketball, hockey, baseball, softball, or lacrosse, we stream it live. Can't watch the game live? Then check out our on-demand rebroadcast. Want a keepsake? Download an audio broadcast or order a DVD. There's more. SportingNewsCT.com features interviews with coaches, players, and administrators. The game's on. SportingNewsCT.com. Sporting News.
Oh, back here at Taft High School. And the relief pitcher, Pat Lazaro, still finishes up his warm-ups here in the bottom of the 6th. And Monroe has made it a little interesting as they now came up with 2 runs last inning. Sent 7 batters to the plate. The big hits were by Orzakowski and Pat Ryan. And Connor Sullivan's day was complete. I think it was one of those runners was his responsibility. So he gave up a total of 2 runs. First batter up now is Cam DeFeo in the bottom of the 6th. And the first pitch was in there, and there's the ball. And Cam DeFeo now swings it. Here's the pitch. It's lobbed up there. It's ball up high. Lazaro just trying to give his team innings. And that's another one that's in the dirt. So it's 3 balls, 1 strike now to Cam DeFeo. Cam on the day has got a sac bunt, a double, scored a run, stole a base, fly to center. There's a strike. So the count's full now to DeFeo. That Watertown High product has had such a great year for that Watertown High School team. There's the pitch. It's popped up. Foul grounds towards the Monroe dugout, but catcher, Zach Boyle, couldn't find it in time. And the ball then bounces in front of the dugout, so we'll do it again. Lazaro in relief so far. He's given up 5 hits and out of Oakville's 11. And there's ball 4. So Cam DeFeo walks. That's the 2nd walk issued by Lazaro so far this afternoon. And they get a leadoff runner aboard again. Well, for Oakville, they got 5 in the 2nd, 2 in the 3rd, 3 in the 5th, and now they get the leadoff runner here on in the 6th. They've got a total of 10 runs so far and 11 hits, and they've left 8 runners on base. Committed no errors, and there's a pitch in there for a strike. Well, so far, both these teams played pretty good defense considering the ball is smacked around at them. Neither team has made an error so far. There's a pitch. It's inside. So it's 2-0 now. Right-handed hitting catcher Brian D'Agostino, who's 2 for 3 on the day, scored 3 runs. He's had himself a day. Here's the pitch, and that one he chases. It pops it in foul ground. Chasing it. It's the first baseman, Pat Ryan. He makes a pretty running catch. So Ryan had to run a long way, caught it on the warning track right in front of the dugout. And now there's 1 out. And brings up the 9-hitter. So Lazaro checks the runner at first to see if he might go. Then he throws the first pitch. They're calling now a strike. 0-1 now to the batter. And here's the 0-1. There's a ground ball between short and third. Third, neither one of them can get it, and that's going to be an infield single. 12th hit of the day for Oakville hitters. They now got 2 runners on base. And runners on second and first. On second base down there is Cam DeFeo now with 1 out. Brings up the top of the order. Adam Raza has walked 3 times here today, scored once, fly to center. So he's been on base 3 out of 4 times. There's a bloop out to the second baseman. He gets it. Not high enough for an infield fly, so scored that one in L4, soft. Brings up Ryan, well, not Ryan Dunphy, but his substitute, Andrew, who steps in. And there's the pitch up and in. So it's 1-0. And there's a second one. There's a ground ball to second base. Kip gets it. He'll go to first, and that'll do it here for Oakville in the bottom of the 6th. They come up empty. No runs. There was an infield single, no hits, and they leave 2 runners on base. They've left 10 here this afternoon on base. We'll be right back. The top of the 7th inning, Monroe's last chance to try to get back in this game and tie it. They've got to get 7. Can they do it? Stay tuned and find out.
American Legion, we're a powerful force for the nation. We're the largest veterans service organization in the nation. We're committed to making sure all veterans receive the benefits they deserve for the sacrifices they've made in service to America. If you're a veteran in need of help or support, please contact us. Go to legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment of service to America. The American.
Well, back here at TAFT Field in Watertown, Connecticut, we're on the top of the 7th. Last chance for Monroe to come back in this game. They trail by the score of 10-3. They're going to send up Luke Schaefer, Mike Slattery, and Pat Lazaro here in the top of the 7th inning. Well, to recap this game so far, Monroe only got 1 in the first, 2 in the 6th, and for Oakville, 5 in the 2nd, 2 in the 3rd, 3 in the 5th. For Oakville, they've got 10 runs on a total of 12 hits as that first pitch goes inside. And they've left 10 on base. They've committed no errors. Monroe has 3 runs on 8 hits. They've left 8 runners on base here today. And there's 2-0 now to leadoff hitter Schaefer. Well, the hitting stars so far today for Oakville, you have to give Adam Raza credit as he's got on base 3 out of the 4 times. That's a bomb hit to left field, and that one's going to be all the way to the fence. And I'll tell you, Schaefer hit it a long ways. It was 1 bounce off the left field fence near that foul pole. And a stand-up double for Schaefer. And that's the 9th hit by Monroe here this afternoon. And Schaefer starts off with a leadoff double. And up comes the big, tall Mike Slattery, the 3rd baseman. And there's a 1-0 pitch now from Connor Sullivan coming up. I mean, not Sullivan, the pitcher, Rimo. Relief pitcher Rimo. For Connor Sullivan, should they go on to win, he'll get the win. He's given up 6 hits, struck out 3, walked 1. And as I said, the hitting starts for Oakville were a number of them. You look at Justin Guerrero, he had a couple of walks, but then he boomed and cleared the bases in the 5th inning. Grant Wallace was 2 for 4 with 2 RBI single back in the 2nd inning. Griffin Smith scored a run on a walk. Max Ryan singled once and scored. Cam DeFeo got a double and then walked. And there's ball 4. As Slattery gets on, so runners on first and second, nobody out. Then on the bottom of the order, Brian D'Agostino, who's probably the big spark plug here today, the catcher, booming triple down the left field line, scored 3 runs today, 2 singles, 1 single, a triple, a walk. So to give him Matt Brophy, before he came out, got an infield single and a regular single up the middle. And then he walked, so he was 2 for 2 with 2 runs. So this Oakville team spread it out pretty evenly and has done it in pretty good fashion here today as they impressively win this game, or so far anyway. They're winning this game. Should they go on to win, they'll be 21-1. And there's a pop-up in the right field, and the fielder shades himself from the sun, and he makes the easy catch. So there's one out here. That brings up Pat Ryan. The important thing for Oakville is they got an out. And Alex Reimold came on in the 6th inning in relief of Connor Sullivan. Sullivan pitched well, gave up 6 hits, struck out 3, only walked 1, didn't hit anybody. And so Sullivan, did what he had to do. There's a pop up into left center. There's left fielder out there, Brophy. He makes the catch. And there's a tag to third. Why, I don't know, but they did it. So he gets tags up and goes to third base. But the important part for Oakville is he flied out to left. So Schaefer trying to hustle and sprints to third base and head first slides. I guess they just want to show their abilities, which they certainly are. It's not their fault. They've hit the ball today. They've got a total of 9 hits on the day. They just ran out of pitching, and the game is already one where Oakville wrapped up the zone. I think that's going to be an inside call to Joe Kipp, who's walked and scored a run. They've already won the zone as Oakville was beat Ansonia yesterday, and Oxford defeated Monroe yesterday. So what started off as a 1-game lead for Oakville quickly ran into a 3-game lead. So they are now the champions of Zone 5. Both teams have 2 games left, Tuesday and Wednesday, so they have to save their pitching. So it's 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Joe Kipp. So Monroe down to their last strike. And Raimo now deals. It's fouled off right side, so Monroe stays alive. As we said before, tomorrow we'll be broadcasting from Quinnipiac University. Don Boyle will have the video broadcast between Hamden and North Haven. Here's the pitch. Hits the dirt, so it's right in front. D'Agostino clipped his index finger there a little bit as he tried to block it. D'Agostino's done a great job behind the plate today. Both these teams have played pretty good defense, neither team committing any errors. It's just not enough pitching for Monroe and too much hitting for Oakville. Has made this a 10-3 game. And here's the pitch. Ball down low, so it's now full. Runner on first will be going. So the payoff pitch here. Runners on first and third to Joe Kipp. And here's the payoff pitch way inside. That's ball 4. Kipp walks for the 3rd time today. And the bases are now loaded. Slattery pushed down to third, and Schaefer pushed down to third, Slattery to second, and Zach Boyle will be the potential final out and potential to keep it going. And Zach Boyle 0 for 3, and he takes a first pitch ball. Zach is fly to left, fly to right, pop to the first baseman so far here this afternoon. And here's the 1-0. It's a hard ground ball fouled on the left field line, so it's 1-1. As Monroe is still down to their last out. They trail by 7. And if they should come back, the tying runs somewhere in the dugout. And here's the 1-1. It's a ground ball to short. Guerrero gets it, throws it over to first, and he decided to take the hard way to first instead of throwing it to second. But that'll do it here as Monroe the side is retired the base loaded. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 hit rather. 3 runners left on base for Monroe, but the game ends with the final score being Oakville 10 and Monroe 3. Well, stay tuned again, as we said, for more American Legion baseball action here on SportingNewsCT.com as we broadcast from Quinnipiac University tomorrow evening with a game between the Hamden 88ers and the North Haven Post. In this game, Oakville posts 195. The Zone 5 champions move on. Their record increases to 21-1. Monroe, second place team in Zone 5, drops to 16-5. Not too shabby in their own right. So both these teams today played, stellar defense. Monroe just smacked the ball around. just the final line score again in this game. Monroe 1 in the first, 2 in the sixth, for a final of 3 runs on a total of 9 hits. 9 hits rather. Yep. And they've left 11 on base. For Oakville, 5 in the second, 2 in the third, 3 in the fifth. Total of 10 runs on 12 hits. They left 10 runners on base. The winning pitcher today was Connor Sullivan, and the losing pitcher was Eddie Tristine. So one more time, the final score here from Taft High School Field in Watertown, Connecticut is Oakville Post 195-10 and Monroe 3. Good afternoon, everybody.
While I was overseas, the American Legion was behind me all the way, supporting me and my family back home when they needed help. Now I'm a proud member.
When I left the military, I wanted my fellow veterans to have the care and the benefits they deserve. That's why I belong to the American Legion.
I never thought the Legion would have anything for me, but they taught me about teamwork and sportsmanship, and they helped me get into college.
The American Legion. We're at work every day.